Here.
Commissioner Coleman,
Present.
Commissioner Ellender, Commissioner Fowler,
Here.
Commissioner Scroggs. We have a quorum.
Thank you, Director Holcomb. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes from the June 16th meeting? We have a motion from Commissioner Addison, second from Commissioner Fowler. Are there any objections? Seeing none, those items have been approved. I'll now ask Ms. Jasmine Thomas to come up to give us an update on the comprehensive plan. Hi, Ms. Thomas.
Good evening. So Planning Commission has completed the latest 5-year update to the future BR last year in 2024. And so this update may have included revisions to lead agency action items, changes to lead agencies, or update to the status of the action items. So action items were sent out to lead agencies earlier this year, notifying them of any changes and reminding them of the end of the year action item status updates and comments. And so towards the end of this year, our office will reach back out to those lead agencies to provide updates on their action items and begin reporting on the progress and the status of the action items. We'd also like to add that the bicycle and pedestrian master plan update was approved unanimously by Metropolitan Council Wednesday, July 16th, and the updated plan will be added to the transportation element of future BR. Thank you.
Thank you, Jasmine. Commission members, at this time, I will ask Vice Chairman Cliff Grau to read in the rules for conducting the public hearings.
Rules for conducting public hearings. This is a public meeting. Any interested member of the public who wishes to comment on an item from this agenda may comment in person at City Hall, 222 St. Louis Street, 3rd floor, room 348, during the meeting. Members of the public desiring to speak on a particular item should refer to a meeting agenda and complete necessary information prior to the meeting by filling out a request to speak card indicating which item you wish to speak and to place that card in the designated location prior to speaking. Applicant and applicant's representatives for the proposal will speak first for a total or combined period of not to exceed 15 minutes. Proponents will speak, then the opponents. Each speaker will not be allowed more than 3 minutes. Speakers are requested to limit their remarks by avoiding the duplication in their presentations. Applicant will be allowed a total of 5 minutes for rebuttal. Opponents will not be allowed to rebut. Items placed on the consent agenda by the Planning Commission staff will not have time allocated for speaking unless there is a member of the public who wishes to speak on the item. In such cases, the proposal will follow the standard procedure. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Grau. We'll now move on to the consent agenda. Mr. Baldwin.
Consent items for withdrawal. Item 15, CS 625, Knox and Fehrenbacher Tract. Proposed flag lot minor subdivision located on the north side of Bueller Drive, north of North Flannery Road. Withdrawn by the applicant on July 8th. Consent items for deferral. Item 13, Cup 625, Louisiana Maze, 14162 Piers Road. Proposed outdoor commercial recreation on property located on the south side of Piers Road, east of Reams Road. Deferred by the Planning Director to August 18th. Item 19, SP 525, Mansions in the Park Phase 2, 7250 Perkins Road. Proposed multifamily located on the south side of Perkins Road, east of Kenilworth Parkway. Deferred by the Planning Director to August 18th. Consent items for approval. Item 7, Case 2125, 15959 Hewwood Avenue, to rezone from rural and commercial alcoholic beverage restaurant CAB1 to light commercial 2 LC2 on property located on the north side of Hewwood Avenue, west of O'Neill Lane. Item 8, Case 2225, 930 O'Neill Lane, to rezone from heavy commercial C2 to commercial alcoholic beverage restaurant CAB1 on property located on the west side of O'Neill Lane, north of Woodwick Avenue. Item 10, Case 2525, 449 and 455 Hurstone Drive, to rezone from light commercial C1 to commercial alcoholic beverage bar and lounge CAB2 on property located on the east side of Hearthstone Drive, north of Government Street. Item 11, PUD 323, Suburb South Baton Rouge Concept Plan Revision, to revise by adding low-density residential, reduce medium-density residential, remove commercial office, and increase open space located on the east side of Nicholson Drive, north of Magnolia Mound. Item 12, CUP 425, 2475 Jackson Avenue. Proposed accessory dwelling on property located on the north side of Jackson Avenue, east of Plank Road. Item 14, PUD 124, Nicholson West Concept Plan Revision, to revise to remove medium-density residential, modify high-density residential, and decrease commercial office area located on the west side of Nicholson Drive, north of West Johnson Street. Item 16, CS 725, Ira W. Diamond Tract. Proposed flag lot minor subdivision located on the west side of Greenville Springs Road, south of Stony Point Birch Road. Item 17, CS 825, Liberty Hill Property, 17111 Liberty Crest Drive. Proposed flag lot minor subdivision located on the west side of Liberty Crest Drive. Item 18, CS 925, Green Acres, 10165 Meadowdale Drive. Proposed flag lot minor subdivision located on the north side of Meadowdale Drive, north of Green Acres Drive. Planning Commission staff certifies that all of these items are consistent with the comprehensive plan and the Unified Development Code.
We've had a request from the public to pull item 14, PUD 124, Nicholson West Concept Plan Revision from the consent agenda. This item will now be heard in a regular agenda order.
Thank you. Commission members, you have now heard the items, all of the items that have been placed on the consent agenda that are to be taken with one vote. Are there any members of the Planning Commission who have an item that they would like to be pulled from consent and heard as part of the regular agenda? Are there any members of the public present who would like to speak on any item from the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there a motion? Motion from Vice Chairman Grouse, second from Commissioner Fowler. Are there any objections? Seeing none, these items have been approved, and we can now move on to the regular agenda.
Mr. Chairman, the next two items can be taken together. Item 2, PA 425, and item 3, rezoning case 2325.
Case PA 425, 15800 and 16438 Samuels Road, related to case 2325. Property is located on the east side of Samuels Road, north of Old Scenic Highway, Council District 1, Knoll. The applicant is Jonathan Walker. The current future BR land use designation is agricultural rural, with a requested future BR land use designation of employment center. The existing zoning is rural, with a requested zoning of light industrial M1. PA 425, 15800 and 16438 Samuels Road, related to case 2325.
Staff recommends approval of the plan amendment based upon examination of the area at a further level of detail and compatibility with surrounding uses. Staff also certifies that the proposed request meets the criteria for a change of zoning if the companion comprehensive plan amendment is approved, being compatible with surrounding uses and conforming to Unified Development Code requirements.
Thank you. Commission members, at this time, I'll open the public hearing and invite the applicant to speak for a period not to exceed 15 minutes. Good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, Mr. Director. My name is Jonathan Walker. I'm one of the owners of Dark Horse Industries as well as DHI Properties. We are a small local specialty construction company engaged in pile cutting and concrete modification. We're currently based in Port Allen, Louisiana, as well as Texas. We are looking to purchase this property with a rezoning, as mentioned, to employment center and light industrial in order to relocate our business to this property. For clarity about the current situation of the property, it is a former dirt pit. It's approximately 56 acres, and it has been extensively excavated. I understand one of the concerns that's always present anytime you see a zoning like M1 industrial, light industrial, is the concern that maybe you're taking a good piece of property, a good green piece of property, a good, a piece of property that's already usable and attractive in the environment, in the community, and converting it to something that's not that. Maybe you're taking a green piece of property in very simplistic terms and transforming it into, what looks like a brown field or, a brown property, if you will, an industrial property. That is not the case here. Indeed, it is very much the opposite. The property that we're talking about is already extensively excavated as a dirt pit. It needs extensive remediation to the erosion. The property has pipeline servitudes as well as extensive servitudes to Baton Rouge Bayou. The current situation is not sustainable. Frankly, somebody needs to purchase the property and bring it into compliance. We are willing to do that. We've committed to do that. In order for us to purchase the property and make those investments as well as relocate our business there, we do need this rezoning application. That being said, we do think it's in the benefit of the parish to bring this property into compliance, as I mentioned. In terms of the actual use of the property, we're looking to build a 10 to 12,000 square foot combination office shop with a tasteful lay-down yard in the back, similar to what many of you have seen before for something like Cajun Industries or Turner Industries, companies like that, the companies that we work for. The nature of our work, specialty construction, we're one of 2 companies in North America that do pile cutting and pile crushing. The work that we do is not on site, it's off site. So this location is just supporting those operations. For the most part, it is logistical, dispatch functions, as well as administrative functions, and maintaining the equipment that is used off site, whether that's at Exxon or Dow Chemical plants that are not in this that are not at this location. To be clear, I don't want anybody getting scared off by the description of what we do. So we're not going to do that here. We're just going to support the equipment here. In terms of the specifics, as I'm sure you've seen, this is a meets and bounds proposal. We are not proposing to rezone the entire parcel. Approximately 42 to 45% of it is proposed for rezoning, specifically leaving buffer space between our property, the property that's being considered, and the neighbors, so that if there is any concern about, frankly, anything, we have thousands of feet between us and any of the neighbors. That's also important in terms of the ecological concerns I mentioned. The pipelines, Baton Rouge Bayou, making sure that we are so far removed from those that once we stabilize those, our commitment is that we're going to leave them alone. We'll cut the grass, we'll make sure that they're stable, they're healthy, they're sound, but those areas will not be developed, and I hope that's reflected in our application. In terms of the erosion control that I mentioned, we are in talks with the appropriate the parish planning agencies, or excuse me, the development agency, to make sure that the work that we do is in accordance with what would be needed on the drainage front. Just to make clear of that. In case it's helpful for background, my business partner and I both live in East Baton Rouge Parish. I've lived in East Baton Rouge Parish my whole life. We are not coming from out of state and looking to take over this piece of property. I've lived in EBR my whole life. And in fact, as part of this, we will be, as the name indicates, we will be employing people, bringing people from Texas to come live in East Baton Rouge Parish as part of this. We think it's an exciting and attractive proposal. We hope that y'all see the same. I'll be respectful of y'all's time and happy to take any questions. And I know there are other people that would like to speak, so thank you so much.
Thank you. We have a call from Dustin Butler. It says if needed. Does he need to speak? No? Okay. Daryl May. Okay. Bryant Dixon. You have the floor for 3 minutes, sir.
All right, thank you. So just to start off, thank you guys for allowing us to be here tonight. My name is Brian Dixon, and I'm the current planning director for the city of Zachary. Our mayor asked that we come and just show support for the project on our end, so I just have a little bit I just wanted to read. I'm here today to support the proposed rezoning and plan amendment for the property located within our zone of influence. The site had historically been used as a dirt pit. Use it has left the land disturbed and largely underutilized. Given its current condition and surrounding context, the proposed light industrial designation is both appropriate and practical, I feel. It aligns with the area's transition and allows for a more structured, productive use of the property without overburdening infrastructure or adjacent neighbors. I believe that this change promotes orderly growth, revitalizes a long underused site that provides an opportunity to bring new economic activity to the corridor. So with that being said, we do appreciate the coordination between our jurisdictions, and we do support the applicant's request for approval. Thank you.
Thank you. We have another speaker cord for Ashley McHugh.
Good evening. My name is Ashley McHugh. I serve as the Director of Economic Development for the City of Zachary. I appreciate y'all letting us come and speak in favor of this rezoning for this great project. So in Zachary, we've definitely worked hard to welcome businesses that we feel like are going to enhance our economy and also align with long-term goals for both Zachary but also the parish as a whole. And we feel like this is a good fit for that. We want to emphasize job creation. As the company just mentioned, we feel like it is quite a big deal that employees would relocate from Texas and from the Port Allen operation as well. As far as the exact location, having direct access to major highways, interstates, we feel like that definitely makes sense for this operation in their transportation endeavors. And just to close out, we definitely see Dark Horse Industries as part of Zachary's broader strategy for economic diversification. We feel like this business is going to contribute to our tax base, support local contractors, and also attract complementary industries in the future. It sends a strong signal that Zachary welcomes serious professional industrial operations, which will benefit Zachary as well as the entire area. Thank you.
Thank you. Commission members, that is it for the speaker cord, so I will close the public hearing, and I would just like to say, as a member of this commission, that I certainly appreciate, I remember the applicant coming before us previously, and, articulating what you were trying to do with the project, and there were some areas of concern, and had some members of the public that were concerned, and so the fact that you were able to go out and find another location, you were able to take that information and synthesize it and do something that obviously people are in support of, and we don't have any messages. I don't have any cards in opposition, and I don't believe the director's office has received any calls in opposition. So certainly appreciate you, doing that. I'm sure Councilman Knoll shares those sentiments.
Mr. Chair, I know it's not my turn, but may I say one
Sure.
brief moment? I'm grateful you brought it up. I wasn't sure if it was in my best interest to bring up the previous hearing, but since you did, thank you. I would be remiss if I didn't thank several people in the room in particular. I'll start with Councilwoman Coleman. Thank you for giving me really good advice the last time I was here in terms of engaging with the community, reaching out to the neighbors, talking with the stakeholders before I ever showed up in this room. In retrospect, that should have been obvious to me, but it was not. And so thank you, and I think that helped me greatly. Commissioner Addison, I want to thank you as well. The feedback you gave me was to speak with the staff, and that advice was equally valuable. And I'll close my comments here just to say that the staff has been phenomenal throughout, starting with the director, the assistant director, Mr. Hanna, Mr. Jeremy. All the encounters we've had have been phenomenal, and we appreciate it.
Thank you for those remarks. I'll open for comments from the commission. Commissioner Addison.
I too like to say thank you guys for what you've done and continue to try to find a place for your company in this parish. It's welcoming to have a place that you kind of fit a little better, and feel welcomed. I mean, as a corporation, but I'd just like to say thanks to you guys, and thanks for believing in our parish and try to stay here. With that, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion for approval.
There's a motion on the floor from Commissioner Addison to approve this item. Is there a second? There's a second. A second from Commissioner Coleman. I hope you're not mad at me, Commissioner Fowler. Let her kind of steal that from you.
And I'm just so grateful for you being a young man that listens. Yes, and then what you did, so you to be commended for that, and wish you well.
Absolutely. There's a motion on the floor and a second. Are there any objections or any additional discussion? Seeing none, those two items have been approved. At this time, we'll move on to item number 4, case 1325 T 1482 Lobdell Avenue.
Case 1325 T 1482 Lobdell Avenue. Property is located on the west side of Lobdell Avenue, north of LaSalle Avenue, Council District 11, Adams. The applicant is Morgan Barback. Future BR land use designation is residential neighborhood. The existing zoning is single-family residential, A1. The requested zoning of neighborhood office, NO. Case 1325 T 1482 Lobdell Avenue.
Staff certifies that the proposed request meets the criteria for a change of zoning, being consistent with the comprehensive plan, compatible with surrounding uses, and conforming to Unified Development Code requirements.
The Planning Commission office has received 8 messages in opposition to this rezoning request.
Thank you. At this time, I'll open the public hearing and invite the applicant to speak for a period not to exceed 15 minutes. Good evening.
Good evening. Hello. Thank you for your time today, and thank you for allowing me to speak today. Appreciate your consideration of our zoning application. I'm here on behalf of the owner, speak for her. David Patterson is with Land Source. We engaged Land Source to take a look at the lot and the location and the surrounding boundaries and come up with a recommendation based on professional experience and background and determining best use for the property. And in doing so, looking at the boundaries, it currently it falls within the Bocage Cultural District, which was recently zoned in the last couple of years with the intention of bringing in, attracting like properties such as Studio Park or an Ann Conley or something like that. This property is scaled much smaller. It borders currently a office building with commercial operations on one side. Behind it is a canal. Behind that is, I think it's B2 townhomes and Goodwood Avenue in the beginning, in the front of it. Based on various conversations and neighborhood leaders, it appears that A1 is really not what the property is really needed there. Neighborhood office zoning would be a better fit, much better fit. And I'd like to thank Councilwoman Adams for suggesting that we meet with our neighbors. We had a nice conversation with the Goodwood Properties Association, thanks to Dennis Verdreen, and others for coordinating these efforts. And we had a small turnout relatively to the neighborhood and the businesses, but I think as a result, we pushed back the zoning request a few meetings and adjusted our original application based on these valued conversations. It did provide healthy dialogue with questions that hopefully clarified some of the intentions and shed light on some unknowns, specifically addressing definitions of neighborhood office, what it can be, what it can't be, the size, the scale. And just by definition alone, neighborhood office zoning is pretty concise based on previous studies and application. So we feel it's a really good fit. Some of the concerns were, due to traffic. We live in a big city. Every property owner contributes to traffic in the city. It'd be no different. By definition of the zoning, the traffic would be limited to office hours only. So I think that would alleviate some concerns. Also, the size and scale, again, by definition of the zoning, would limit it to smaller than what you can build residentially. So the current owner has been an owner. She's been a great steward for the property for the past 14 plus years. She's proud to be part of the neighborhood, the Bocage Cultural District, and Baton Rouge community as a whole. With this regard, she's looking to work with professionals and qualified individuals to find a qualified candidate that would provide a type of service that would benefit the neighborhood and its residents, also enhance the neighborhood, service that those in the neighborhood are currently using and appreciate and wouldn't have to go as far to visit. So in summary, I think neighborhood zoning makes the most sense. Look forward to continuing the conversations with our community leaders, neighbors, and providing updates as they become available. And again, we appreciate your time and consideration. Thank you.
Good evening, David Patterson with Land Source, 6730 Exchequer Drive, Baton Rouge. I'm here representing the Catrones. You just heard from Victor. I was contacted back in February by the Catrones to rezone the property, and from day one and consistently, through the last 5 months, the Catrones have made it clear that they want to do something with the property that is in keeping with the character of this unique part of town, and that respects both the commercial and residential neighbors. The last 5 months has involved many emails and phone calls with our Councilwoman Lori Adams. She's been tremendously helpful, and the leadership of a few of the nearest residential neighborhoods. My initial recommendation to the Catrones was for LC1 light commercial, but after some discussions with the planning staff and them informing us that they couldn't certify that, we decided to apply for neighborhood commercial. This zoning, neighborhood commercial, significantly limits the uses allowed and also the size of the development. Then in May, we requested that the planning director delay our project to provide more time to work with the area residents. And in response to these discussions with the neighbors, the Catrones decided to scrap the whole neighborhood commercial rezoning and rezone to neighborhood office, which further limits the uses and the size of the development. Then in June, we asked Lori Adams to defer our request a second time to allow for the change of neighborhood office and to provide more time to talk with the residents and set up an in-person meeting, which we did. The meeting took place on Tuesday, July 8th. There were approximately 25 residents representing seven different subdivisions, which included Goodwood Estates, Goodwood Village, Tilton Court, Bocage Condos, Normandy Acres, Township at Old Goodwood, Lobdell Acres. The meeting, I felt like the meeting went very well. After a couple of short presentations from Mr. Catrone and myself, there was a Q&A that lasted about 35 minutes. Up to that point, the only dissenting comments that we had heard came from one couple that live in Normandy Acres. Mr. Catrone and I were asked to leave the room so that those present could have private discussions. About 30 minutes later, we were invited back to meet with 5 individuals that represented officers of one or more of the subdivisions. We were informed that we would not be receiving a letter of support, which was our goal. We were told in this private meeting that they had that there were 4 to 5 of the 25 present that were in opposition to our rezoning. Some of those were the 8 comments that you received. We were also told that the bylaws of the subdivision, I'm assuming Goodwood Estates, prevented them from supporting any rezoning other than A1, and that we would not receive any support, and in fact, their official position would be opposing our rezoning request. Dennis Vadrine, the Goodwood Estates representative, indicated that he would speak tonight. I assume you'll hear from him on behalf of the group, and would note their opposition to the rezoning, but also would comment favorably on our efforts to appease the area neighborhoods. And no doubt there are folks here that will confirm what I'm telling you about that meeting. That's my recollection. Tonight, you're going to hear complaints about traffic. No surprise, living in Baton Rouge. The traffic on Lobdell, I looked into this, I called MoveBR, and I've confirmed that there is a project to upgrade the signals at Jefferson Corporate and also to lengthen the turn lanes, which is what causes a significant part of the backup on Lobdell. This project is in design and is expected to be released for construction in 2026. Regarding the uses, I don't think y'all have this, but this is a list of uses for neighborhood office and neighborhood commercial. Neighborhood office has 13 permissible uses, 13. And of those, the Catrones are most interested in a bank, a medical office, general office, philanthropic organization, and art gallery. There is no interest whatsoever in the 5 uses listed as limited or conditional, and I'll tell you what those are: group home, veterinarian office, art studio, daycare, live work. I don't even know what that means, but those are the 5. The site is not suitable for residential, in our opinion, and we feel that allowing this rezoning would really serve to effectively draw the line between, and would be a good transition between the intensive commercial that you have south of our site and the residential north of our site. Finally, the restricted size, which is 2,500 square feet, and 2,500 square feet of building, that's it. And I will also note that the usable area of this lot, once you take out servitudes, is less than half of an acre. 2,500 square feet of office and half an acre. But the restricted size allowed by this zoning assures that any development will have a negligible effect on traffic and infrastructure, in spite of what you're going to hear. I would also, I mentioned about the buildable area, but thank you for allowing us to speak, and we respectfully ask for your approval of our request so that we can take this before the Metro Council. Thank you.
Thank you. We have several cords that are in opposition to this. The first is for Tommy Campbell. Campbell. Good evening, Mr. Campbell. You have the floor for 3 minutes.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to speak in opposition to this application. I live at 1433 Lobdell, which is diagonally across from that lot, so I've been in that property and my property 1 year prior to the current owner who's wanting to make a zoning change. This zoning change would be a drastic departure from the feel of the neighborhood. As referenced earlier, there's appreciable office activity and commercial activity south of the Lobdell Jefferson Highway intersection, which is a bad traffic intersection. You're right, traffic is horrible. We've personally witnessed many accidents on people trying to bypass the traffic during rush hour, which is morning, lunch, and closing time, 5 o'clock, which would be the opening hours of the preferred activities that they're talking about. So that won't abate traffic, it'll make it worse. But it'll be very, very different. Our neighborhood is primarily a residential community. There aren't any banks, there aren't any healthcare facilities on our street, and we don't really need it because we've got a plethora of them all up and down Jefferson Highway, all up and down Jefferson Highway going north and going south. We've got Town Center, we've got Bocage, and it goes all the way down to Drusilla with Rouse's Market, et cetera. So we don't really need that from our neighborhood. What we need is more green space for people to be able to build houses on. I do have a concern that right now, adjacent to the property is a commercial facility. It usually has for lease signs out. It's not active. And after hours, and if we have another commercial property right next to it that's vacant at night, not populated, with people watching out for their property, activity could be happening behind the property and along the canal. And I see that happening in other big commercial properties that have canals adjacent to them. There's homeless activity, and people do things they shouldn't be doing because they're not visible. And to have that set the stage for additional creep northward on Lobdell Avenue is a monster concern of my family and the families on both sides of our property. One other concern that we have is that despite the owner has taken great care on the property for the last 14 years, which is true, they've never, to our knowledge, never attempted to sell it as A1 and add neighborhood property, residential properties there. And if they had asked us and all the other people on our block, they would have supported selling a property for homes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next card is for Dennis Vidrine.
Thank you very much for the opportunity to speak here. Also, thank you for your service to our city. I know it's a volunteer position. My name's Dennis Vidrine. I am the zoning chair of our Property Owners Association, which is Goodwood Property Owners. I've been involved with the HOA for about 20 years, spoken many times before this board, and I think we have an excellent reputation with both the board and the staff. We always come with good questions to Mr. Holcomb and his staff. So I want to trace a little bit of history here. The applicant first applied for neighborhood commercial. That was just totally not acceptable, and the staff said that they could not certify it. Ms. Adams became involved. We have a great council person. She reached out to us and she said, hey, Dennis, can you knock on the doors of all the immediate adjacent residents? Can you talk to the adjacent businesses? Can you work with the other homeowners associations and attempt to come up with a consensus? Try to build consensus. So we did. On July 8th, we had a meeting. We had about 25 of all of the immediate adjacent residents and the HOAs. And it was clear, after some discussion, it was clear that we could not. Every single one of them said, A1, 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 do not surrender. We communicated that to Ms. Adams, and we believe she's supportive of maintaining A1 residential there. Why? Well, the fear of the unknown. The applicant has no plans, none. They have no ideas, they have nothing. They just say, well, neighborhood office will come up with something down the line. The fear of the unknown. The residents there say, hey, we don't know what it's going to be. Maybe if they had solid plans, they would make us feel a little bit more comfortable. It's immediately adjacent to a condo association of 39 units. It will immediately impact their quality of life. They're concerned about noise pollution, light pollution from a business. They have dumpsters. They will be picking them up. They will cause some concerns for those residents. And Mr. Campbell talked about Lobdell being a residential street. It is. It is a residential street. There has been recent residential construction with Tilton Court there that built 8 beautiful homes directly across the street from where this office will be. So there is development of residential buildings on that street and on that neighborhood.
I'm sorry, Mr. Vidrine, your time.
All right. Thank you very much for your time. I think
Absolutely.
you'll hear from some others.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Our next card is for Jean Bergeron.
Hello, my name is Jean Bergeron. I am a board member for Old Goodwood Village, which is the 39 units that are directly behind any proposed anything. It's them, the canal, and our village. And we are primarily mid to elder people there, and they're very concerned about not having that. I have lived there 30 years. And there are many people live there more than I did, long time. And we have been pushed in from the south with all the art studio, and it's all commercial now. And we have a lot commercial. We want to try and keep our little village and around us green and a house. And so we are concerned about the light pollution, the garbage, and we are in opposition. 2 of our owners who directly live on the canal, right by the canal, sent emails to Lori today and the commission to state their concern and we have a lot of single older women there, and we would like to see it be residential and not any commercial at all. So thank you very much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Our next card is for Hampton Grunwald.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Members, Hampton Grunwald, 6911 Joliet Avenue. I am the current president for the Goodwood Property Owners Association. Our association participated in a meeting in the neighborhood to allow the owner and nearby residents to come hear about the plans and voice any future concerns. In simple terms, the neighborhood is opposed to the changes to the A1 zoning. Lobdell has seen significant increases in traffic over the past few years, and continued commercial expansion will only exacerbate that issue. We have consistently worked in the neighborhood to sustain the density associated with A1 residential, and that is the position of the board. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Our next card is for Scott Simon.
Good evening. My name is Scott Simon. I live at 7505 Tilton Court, and I'm the Vice President of the Homeowners Association across the street from this development. And we're certainly in oppose of it, and I'd like you to think about you all and where you might live and how this would affect you if you were living right across the street. And the other thing I'd ask you to think about is, who are we trying to solve a problem for? A developer, a single homeowner, or a landowner versus residents? And this is the key word, is residents, people that live in the community. I have trouble making a left out of the street as it is. We've had gunfire in our neighborhood. We've had 2 people that were killed by a hit and run. Enough is enough. There's enough development along Jefferson. I heard someone speak about the building that's next door to where the development might be. It's always vacant. Across the street, there's always vacancy at that other commercial building. So I ask you to consider not to support this as residents in your community and how you would feel living across the street from this. Certainly, I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next card is for Dane Hupp. I'm sorry, they indicated they do not wish to speak. The same goes for Annalee Campbell and Caroline Messenger. At this time, I'll invite the applicant back to speak for a 5-minute rebuttal.
Thank you. We've been demonized. We understand their concern about speculation, but we believe that the 13 allowable uses in this particular zoning negates that. And I believe this, I've talked about this 2,500 square feet, the less than half acre of buildable land. I think this could barely qualify as commercial expansion, as someone put it. The condos referred to are across the canal from this site. 1,800 doors represented, 1,800 doors. And you've heard from a few. So we respectfully request your approval. Thank you.
Thank you. Commission members, at this time, I will close the public hearing and invite any questions and comments regarding this item. Vice Chairman Grout.
Mr. Vadrine, can you come forward? I know there's been a number of comments today about keeping this A1. And this property has been sitting for quite some time.
Correct.
We've seen other neighborhoods where there has been a property, usually an edge property like this, sit. There's a piece of property on Goodwood that sat for 20-some years until somebody came along and said, let's do an iSpud, or they ended up doing 3 houses on that. It's going to be developed now. But they've sat vacant for many years because it was A1. It was at a point in an area that was transitioning to commercial, and nobody wanted to put a house on it. So my question to you is, I know you've been involved with your association for a number of years. Has there ever been any interest in anyone looking to buy this, to build a house, that you know of?
It's never been for sale as far as we know, that we've never seen a for sale sign of any kind.
But I mean, is this something that, I know, trust me, people come to my house wanting to buy it simply because it's a house and it's right off of Goodwood.
Sure.
And I live in Broadmoor.
Yes, sir.
But, usually you see the interest if there is some. My concern is, if you keep it A1, is it just going to be something that somebody's got to mow and pay taxes on as a vacant piece of land? That's what I'm wrestling with here.
Sure.
So that's why I wanted to ask if you knew anything about.
Well, we've never seen it for sale,
Okay.
and you and I have had a discussion in the past about transitional properties.
Right.
I don't see it as transitional.
Well, we already have commercial just south of it. Is that the limit of the, my concern is that the limit of the transition? Is the commercial that's there now, and look, I just recently was looking to go into that building, and it's now rented. There is area across the street. That's, I've casually looked at that. I really liked the place just south, but
Sure.
the thing is that I believe you have to have a transition. You have to say, stop somewhere. And is this the point to stop? That's the question I have.
Is it the point to stop?
But what I
though?
also want to talk about is, if this property simply is never going to be A1, what do we do? So, but the other thing is, what's in the use for neighborhood office, I mean, definitely neighborhood commercial, I could not support.
Sure.
Neighborhood office, there are some things in there that concern me, because once we rezone, it's not rezoning to that particular issue. Now, if they'd come back and said, here's what we're going to do, and oh, by the way, I don't know if it would be a SPUD or a PUD or something, where they can lock them in and this is what we're going to do. That I think you may have a little bit less of a problem with it if you could say, okay, this is going to be blank. Okay, so that's all. I just wanted to really ask.
First
about
off,
the
if you come to the neighborhood, bring your architectural firm, we'd welcome you very much.
Well,
so,
I'm already around the corner on Goodwood, right across from the library.
All right, well, good.
But we're
Good.
always, we've already gone ahead and made an agreement with our current landlord, and we're going to stay there, because I'm sure if he's watching, I don't want him thinking, oh my goodness, I've lost him again.
I got you. So, yeah, we are concerned about
Yes. Yeah,
it. So,
and that's sort of my concern, is where is the line? But also, if this is not viable, that's another.
Yeah.
If it's not viable as A1, if it's not viable as commercial, I'm trying to get a line here in my
Sure.
head. So thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr.
Yeah.
Grau. All right.
Commissioner Fowler?
Can I have the applicant come back up? Yeah. Yeah, you, yeah. Sorry. What has been the discussion of what they want, why they want to do this now? Why are they rezoning it now? And has there been any discussion or any interest in a buyer or them developing a specific property?
They had it in their mind to get it rezoned before they pursued a buyer.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit out of order than from what we're used to, but that's just what they said from the beginning. There's 5 kind of onerous, a group home. There are 5 things that are either limited or conditional. The things that are conditional, you have to have a conditional use permit to do it. And then the things that are limited, there's a list of conditions that you have to meet before they'll allow it. So I just wanted to point that out.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Vice Chairman Grau?
So there's been, to my knowledge, no interest in A1, no offers A1, nor has there been any interest in selling the property. The owner's interested in beautifying the community, the neighborhood. She likes what was done at Studio Park, smaller scale, but she likes that concept. She likes Ann Connolly. She likes, the red onion that's there, and goes to those different places. She's looking for a professional type service to go in there that would support the community and the neighborhood.
So the idea is that she's going to develop it, or she's going to rezone it and have it develop, like sell it to someone to build and develop?
She has no intention to sell it.
No intention of selling.
She has been speaking to real estate professionals to look at the best possible use and do a search of candidates for that. And, she'll be selected to make sure that, she doesn't want to bring someone in that doesn't have the financial wherewithal to be able to sustain being there for a long term. She's not looking into like having a lot of turnover or anything like that, keeping it stable. Thank you.
That you're done, Commissioner Fowler. Any additional questions? Would you like to make your comments now, or you can sit on them if they need to marinate a little bit?
Looking at this property, I understand the concerns here and so forgive me, but as a real estate appraiser and a real estate broker, I'm definitely in favor of this being neighborhood office. I do not see where this is going to increase traffic issues with the size of the building that needs to be, that's limited to be able to be there. And in my personal opinion, just my opinion, I could be wrong, it's never going to be a house based on where it's at. It's never going to be A1 in my personal opinion. So that's where, for me, this is a great fit for the area in which it's going to demand a high quality office building just purely for the value of the land itself. That's my comment.
Okay. Vice Chairman Gropp.
Can the applicant come back up, the owner? Yeah. Yes. One of the bigger concerns, and one I raised, and I think it's a concern for some others, is to rezone something. It doesn't lock you into, you want to do, an office building, or you want to do a dentist's office or something. Mm-hmm. Have you all considered doing? I mean, that's one of the concerns of the neighbors is what's this going to be? And I got to tell you, it's a concern to me when I hear, well, we're going to get it rezoned and then figure out what to do. That bothers me. I agree with Commissioner Fowler. I don't ever see an A1 house going on here. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the neighbors need to know what is going to go there. I know that's not our job to pick and choose, but I'm just very concerned about what happens at this site. Sure. And so, have you considered doing a SPUD or where you come back with a specific, here's what we're going to do, here's where the parking's going to go, here's where the landscape's going to go, here's where the walk's going to be, here's where the right-of-way that goes back to the, to the bridge that crosses over, all of that.
Right.
Have you considered that?
Well, I will say that the property owner has had the property for 14 years, and she's in no rush to, run out after the meeting one way or the other and do anything with the property.
Okay.
It's going to be a long study.
Okay.
And we're going to take time. She has experience building other properties up, and in the past has done about a 90-acre development that was a raw tract of wooded property, turned it into a 90-lot subdivision,
right.
Put in paved streets, underground paving, brought in a school so kids didn't have to bus very far.
I'm in no way
she's
questioning.
very conscious of.
And I'm in no
yes,
way
sir.
questioning that.
Yeah.
What concerns me is she builds something, y'all sell it.
Right.
And then it fails. And then somebody says, we want to bank here, and then we don't have it by right. Would that happen? I don't know. I've seen some banks put in some pretty strange places.
Right.
And particularly in Baton Rouge.
We're not particularly looking at one type of a business or another.
Right.
We would like something to complement the area.
But that's,
yeah.
That sounds really good. Mm-hmm. But I think the concern of the neighbors, which, and again, I agree with Commissioner Fowler. I do not think this is ever going to be A1.
Right.
But at the same time, I'm really concerned about just, particularly when I see things like bank.
Right.
That's not a site for it. I know it probably won't happen. I don't think you would, but somebody could.
I don't think it'll be necessarily big enough for a bank, but that's my own personal opinion.
You look at Gulf Coast around the corner, and it's on a pretty tight site. Mm-hmm. Okay,
right.
So I mean, it's my bank. I'm over there all the time.
One good thing, Councilwoman Adams did bring us together with some of the homeowners associations.
Could you get a little closer to the mic, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry. Councilwoman Adams did bring us together with some of the homeowners associations, and Now that we know them, we plan to communicate with them at every step and get their input as well, too, because, whatever does end up there is, hopefully supported by the community because it's intended.
This is what I don't want to see is, okay, we approve this, and then the guy with the house above it passes away or sells or does something, and whoever buys it, well, says, well, you approved the guy over here, let's keep going. I don't want to see that on Lobdell. I mean, I'm invested in that community 20 years. That's where my office has been, right around the corner.
Right.
And so I know the area well, and Dennis is right. We've had discussions about transition.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe at a certain point, you just got to say, no, you're done. My question is this too far? I think I really need to see what's going to happen here. I'm very uncomfortable with this right now. So just, that's my 2 cents, and we'll get to it when we get to it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Additional comments from the commission? Any additional questions or comments regarding this item? Any motions? Commissioner Addison.
I move for approval.
There's a motion on the floor from Commissioner Addison to approve this item. Is there a second? Second from Commissioner Fowler. Are there any objections? Noted objection from Vice Chairman Grout. Any additional objections or further discussion? Seeing none, this item is approved. At this time, we'll move on to item number 5, case 1925, 3825 North Sherwood Forest Drive.
Case 1925, 3825 North Sherwood Forest Drive. Property is located on the west side of North Sherwood Forest Boulevard, north of Toledo Bend Avenue, Council District 5, Hearst. The applicant is Edwin Velasquez.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Future BR land use designation is mixed use. The existing zoning is light commercial C1 with a requested zoning of heavy commercial 2, HC2. Case 1925, 3825 North Sherwood Forest Drive.
Staff certifies that the proposed request meets the criteria for a change of zoning, being consistent with the comprehensive plan, compatible with surrounding uses, and conforming to Unified Development Code requirements.
The Planning Commission office has received 41 messages in opposition. Also, Councilman Hurst has expressed his concern in the amount of opposition that has submitted comments to our office, and he is also opposed at this time.
Thank you, Director Holcomb. I'll open the public hearing at this time and invite the applicant to speak for a period not to exceed 15 minutes. Good evening, sir.
Good afternoon for everybody. My name is Edwin Velasquez. I'm from Honduras. Been here over 20 years in this city. I got already my small business.
Could you bring the mic a little closer to you? Thank you.
I already got my small business, and I buy the piece of land a couple years ago, and I have my business about 12 years ago, small business, and I pay rent to different places, and I try to see can make my own place to do the service to the community or my neighbor around the piece of land I had, and just try do the best I can with my neighbor around the piece of land I had, and that's why this is why over here see I can get approved to make my own building, and it's really hard to explain to everybody because there's no my natural language. I reading. I know how to. I got my dream, to everybody Spanish coming to this country, get opportunity to growing up. thing only that I can say. Really hard to me to explain to my point to how I can give my own plate.
Anything else, sir?
And I had a couple. They can explain better for me. I can give the opportunity to him to speak to everybody. See, they can explain better for me.
Okay, is he your representative? He can help speak on your behalf if you would like to. You can come to the podium.
He'd like me to speak for him.
Okay, can you come to the podium and identify yourself?
Okay, want me to read that? Okay, 1 second, I'm
Sure.
sorry. Thank you all. Okay. All right, I'm speaking for Mr. Edwin Velasquez. Where did that go? Hold on, there it is.
Could you give us your name
Sorry,
for the
folks.
record, sir?
I'm sorry?
Could you give us your name for the record?
My name is John Siegel,
Okay.
Seigel.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Good afternoon, esteemed members of the Planning Committee and the city officials of Baton Rouge. My name is Edwin Velasquez, owner of Edwin's Service Repair, an auto repair shop that has been built on a foundation of honest work, reliable customer service, and a strong commitment to our community. I'm here today to respectfully request your formal approval for the construction of a new building that will house and expand our operations. What we're needing is a rezoning from C1 to C2. The property has been basically inactive. There's nothing on that property. We're requesting to put a building on there, generate more income for the city and obviously for Mr. Velasquez. Edwin Repair Service started a small family effort. Over the years, through dedication and sacrifice, we've been able to grow, creating jobs, hiring technicians, serving many families throughout Baton Rouge, which I am one of those. However, our current facilities are no longer sufficient to meet the demand or to offer the proper working and service conditions. The building we propose is not just an upgrade for our business, it is a direct investment in the city. This construction project will create new local jobs, both during the construction phase and throughout ongoing operations. And of course, improve the customer experience, offering a more suitable and comfortable space for those who rely on us. We are fully committed to meeting all municipal, environmental, and safety regulations and to building a structure that blends harmoniously with the surrounding area. More importantly, we want to continue providing that family-owned business that can grow responsibly with transparency, dedication, and true love for the community. We believe that this project not only is viable, but truly beneficial for Baton Rouge and for ourselves. I respectfully ask for your support and approval to move forward. Thank you for your time and consideration. Okay. I've known Mr. Velasquez for 20 years. Started out as a small little shop. He's grown very well. His current situation is crowded, to say the least. There's no parking for vehicles that come in. You have to park on neighbors' grass and everything. With this building that he's proposing, it'll definitely help his business tremendously. The C1 to C2 is not that big of a deal because of the location on North Sherwood Forest. I don't believe it will impact any of the neighbors. The closest building is a Family Dollar, which would probably be 200 foot away, maybe. Behind that, or to the west, is a subdivision that's probably 400 foot away. So I don't think there'd be any noise problem being a mechanic shop. It's not like it's a rifle range or whatever. So, I don't know what else I could say to sway your opinion, and hopefully that you'll agree with him. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
We have one more card that is in favor, and that is for Felicia Hill. You can have a seat, sir. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Felicia Hill. I lived in Park Forest, I want to say, for 15 years now. And I've known Mr. Edwin for about several years. He services my vehicles. And for somebody like me, it's important to have somebody that can actually fix them and you don't have to keep taking them back. He also works in the community. He fixes the laundromats. He services their stuff, things like that. And just kind of helps, since he's owned the land that's over there. It was a lot of, like, the landscaping was terrible, but since he's owned it, he has been keeping up with the upkeep. And I can assure you, if he's going to own a mechanic shop right there, he's going to make sure that, people in the local area, their cars will be fixed. It's like, he's no BS. He does fix them, really, And the shop that they have on Florida, it's so much traffic getting to the shop. At least on Sherwood, we can kind of just get there, get our cars taken care of, and leave. There won't be any traffic to bother people. But that's about all that I can say, except, he's a good person. He does good work, and it is needed in our area. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. We have several cores that are in opposition. The first is for, is it Ontario Carney? You have the floor for 3 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you. I am Ontario Carney, and I have been a resident of Park Forest for the last 30 years. I work diligently with both the association and the crime district to maintain a safe, crime-free community and maintain our property values. I speak in opposition of the proposed zone change to allow for a mechanic shop. We in Park Forest are being proactive in preventing blight, which is a problem throughout our parish. We welcome businesses that enhance the nearby community as well as Park Forest, but another mechanic shop will only negatively impact our community with noise and traffic. It must also be noted that another mechanic shop will be the source of noise, and again, we'll be inundated, we're already inundated with mechanic shops. We have several within a mile or a mile and a half of our area. The blight will consist of piled up junk cars and tires, and there's one such business about a mile from the proposed business that has been reported to the 311 call center on numerous occasions, and that issue has never been resolved. In summary, I reiterate that another mechanic shop will have a negative impact on Park Forest and the surrounding community. We do not need another mechanic shop. I have pictures here that I'd like to present that maybe you can pass around and show some of the mechanic shops that are within a mile or so of our area. And you can see the blight and the stacked cars and the tires, et cetera. May we present this?
As long as we can keep them, you can give them to Commissioner Addison right here on the end. Thank you. Our next card is for Deborah Dow.
Good afternoon. Well, good evening now.
Good evening.
Absent the fact that there are numerous mechanic shops on Greenville Springs Road, I don't know if they did a technical study, but there are over 28,000 cars that currently pass on Greenville Springs Road daily. And on Sherwood Forest, there is the transfer, East Baton Rouge Parish transfer for students in the schools. And during school hours, or during school, when school is in session, there's numerous buses that, the traffic is backed up from that drop-off center all the way to Greenwell Springs Road. The question that I have is one, we're already on Greenwell Springs Road, I live in Park Forest, we're already sandwiched in between low-income housing. We have the new facilities that were put on Drill Road, and then we're sandwiched in by those by the library. It's going to decrease the value of our homes when you rezone to a commercial district. We were rezoned back last year with, in the 9700 block of Greenwell Springs Road, where there were an open storage facility. And I'm kind of nervous here a little bit. But anyway, the businesses that's on Greenwell Springs Road now are poorly maintained. A lot of them, there's no uniformity. The buildings look like they are vacant, but there are people that actually have businesses in those buildings. And if you go down Greenwell Springs Road, you will see that. The other thing that I'm concerned with is the decrease in housing, or decrease in property value. And one of the things that people are not aware of is that when you live in a low-income zip code, according to the National Association of Insurance Commissioners, people who live in low-income zip codes pay more for insurance because they are more apt to file a claim. And that has been stated in the National Association of Insurance Commissioners documents. The other thing that concerns us is that not only are we concerned about the value of our homes decreasing, we're also concerned with the increase in crime. When you start to rezone into a heavy commercial area, then you start to look at what it's going to attract. And so I am in opposition of that. The other thing that we're concerned with is also the I think that's about it. But those are the points. I only have 3 minutes, so they want to take that up.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Our next card is for Patsy Leday. It says if needed. Would she like to speak?
Hello and good evening. My name is Patsy Leday, and I am the president of the Park Forest Community Association. I stand in opposition of this rezoning. I am Park Forest. I've what's the word I'm looking for? I think I've built on Park Forest, and I want to continue to raise my kids in Park Forest. So when I think about this rezoning to heavy, I'm not too clear about all this, but when I think about what we have right now into what it would transition to, it makes me think what my neighborhood is going and my community is going to change to. I'm okay with people trying to establish their own family and grow something, but I think about my family too and my community that I have. We're here to beautify it. We're here to keep it safe, and this is what we're here for. I mean, when I don't want to drive up to my neighborhood or my home looking at blight all the time. I see that enough around the area. Tires at Greenwood Springs Road, North Sherwood Forest. Can't say this is going to happen, but right now that's how I feel. And I don't want to see it in the community. I would like us to continue to grow. And if there's going to be something that would grow in the area or would be evaluated to put in our community, let us be something that can grow our community and make it a community where it represents everybody, and as well as keeping it safe and keeping it beautified. I thank you, and I ask that you consider maybe keeping it in opposition. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next card is for Troy Flowers. Good evening.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm a fast talker, so y'all gotta hang on there. Good afternoon. My name is Troy Flowers. I am a resident of Park Forest, and I'm against this mechanic shop coming. I am 300 feet away from the mechanic shop, and they spoke about parking. This place is built like this, like a triangle. There is no parking there. We are concerned about our health. This guy is talking about bringing this thing to a heavy commercial. So he's talking about working on diesel trucks. Stank diesel smell. Okay? That will hurt our lungs. the noise, the air range, the air compressor. See, all hours of the night, you see, and the problem is park these boat cars there, you see, and this going to totally knock down our property value. You see, we're not trying to develop a junkyard in our area. And from what I'm looking at, you flip another white truck over there now, and I don't see where you point a slab, you can set the bill on top of the slab. So we plan to just put the bill on top of dirt. So it really is about to run our community, and we're against that. We don't want that, period. You see, because like I said, I got my family member with respiratory problems. When the wind is blowing, all that's coming straight into our community. Not to mention if this place catch a fire, all kind of combustion will be going in the air. So we must, and I ask y'all, we must look into this, look after for our health, our community, our kids. And I humbly ask y'all this afternoon, I know I'm running out of time, I humbly ask y'all to please take this into consideration. We do not need a mechanic shop. We got enough of junk on the other side of the train track on Sherwood Forest. That's just ridiculous. You see, so all this is peer housing. You see, this is peer housing. Now, the guy should be able to go move his mechanic shop somewhere else. Don't bring it to us. The traffic, getting in and out of Toledo Bend is going to be a major problem. With the dollar store here, the Tesco station here, we have a serious problem. So I ask y'all today, look after people's health. Take this into consideration. Like you say, y'all live in the area, y'all want the same thing. You see, you walk out the house, you want to breathe clean, fresh air. You know, we don't need people to be sick and don't know what's wrong. Different chemicals get into our lungs. They're going to say one thing and they're going to do another. It would not be done the way it's saying. So I ask all of y'all, please take this into consideration. A humble action that. I know my time running out. But thank y'all. May God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. May God bless the United States of America. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Our next card is for Lillian Grosby. Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Lillian Grosley. I'm a 27-year resident. I believe I moved over there in 97. I can't do that math, even though I am a retired former banker. I commend Mr. Velasquez, if I'm saying his name right. I was a business banker, so I understand people's desire to continue to cement their place and have the opportunities that they worked and achieved for. However, I have great concern, and I am in opposition of the zoning change. The zoning change to heavy commercial, while he has great intents and plans to pursue this, and it's going to open a mechanic shop, once that zoning change is approved, and if for whatever reason something happens and he can no longer operate that building, it's still heavy commercial. So the next owner can come in and do whatever they desire to do once we get that zoning change in place. That is my largest concern. The pictures that were handed around, if you would look closely at the ones on the North Sherwood side, those were very good ideas at the time those businesses started, and it is a very big eyesore now. There's another one, Veins, I think it's called, on Greenville Springs Road. It's got cars, you can't hardly even get in. I couldn't get in there to take the picture. I had to go across the street and I had to go around because it's so crowded in there. This is what we are concerned about, having this type of look start to saturate North Sherwood Forest. This block from North Sherwood Forest at the railroad tracks all the way to Greenville Springs Road is beautiful. It does not have any heavy commercial. The dollar store and the Dollar Tree are the only things there. You mostly have churches and townhomes and whatnot. If we start to allow these types of developments on that end, it's going to look very much like the Sherwood to Florida end of Sherwood Forest, North Sherwood Forest. I went down Choctaw from Sherwood down to Monterey. There's a plethora of automobile service businesses there. Several of them are no longer operating. There's a for sale sign on at least 2 of them. I didn't take those pictures. But if you do a drive around just the 2 miles around there, you can probably count 20 automotive shops. And I don't have a problem with that business. I have a problem with the zoning change because it opens us up to many more things that we really don't want to have in our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Our next card is for Henry Washington. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. My name is Henry Washington. I live Park Forest, and I thank you guys for the opportunity to speak. I've been in Park Forest since about 1989, and it's a very good area to live. We got a lot of little issues we fighting. This new shop is gonna be another issue, and I have no problem with someone that want a personal business, but North Baton Rouge is constantly fighting blight property, just a combination of things, and we don't need anything extra to fight. Changing the zone is not gonna help us at all. So when I first moved where I'm at now is more nicer in the sense that it's more green, less businesses. The businesses they did have were operating. So now it's kind of like we got a lot of blight property all around. And we don't need to bring in more stuff that could be later on be bright property. So it's a nice community for the families. I like to keep it like that. And I've been living there a long time. So hopefully we could just keep it like it is and not change the zone. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. Our next card is for Jacqueline, is this Roan Leah? Rowan Lee. That's what I meant to say. Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening, good evening. My name is Jacqueline Rowan Lee, and I'm the president of the Park Forest Crime Prevention Improvements District. And I live at 10088 Gamma Drive. I strongly oppose changing from C1 to HC2. Reason being everything everybody else has said. And also I'm looking at bringing more businesses in our area. With the Move BR and y'all been in the extend Sherwood Forest, that's gonna be a prime area. And we trying to bring in more restaurants. We're trying to bring in retail. What about a neighborhood Walmart? We're trying to bring in things that will be conducive to our community. We don't have a store close by. We have to travel to Central. We're trying to bring in some things that would make our area healthy, make people, more businesses want to come in. Unfortunately, a mechanic shop has a bad reputation, and I'm not saying I may not later on want to change to HC. I'm saying right now, I need to put some things there that's going to bring some thriving businesses around my area. I have been in my home 27 years. I'm getting ready to retire and I wasn't planning on moving, but if you bring the wrong type of businesses around me, my home is almost paid for. You force me to move. You'll force me to move because I'm getting too old for all that. So we have 50 million mechanic shops, and hey, I commend the guy trying to build his company, but it's just not for us right now. We need some more healthy commercial retail businesses around the Park Forest area. Thank you.
Thank you. We have two additional speaker cards that are in opposition that do not wish to speak. Those are for Shara Flowers and Shannon Sims. At this time, I'll invite the applicant and his representative back to the podium for a 5-minute rebuttal.
I tell you, when I buy the land before, it's a lot of trash, like they say. But right now, whenever I buy, I keep it clean. It's not tire shop like they say. It's just mechanic shop. I go the work I go do. And the Toledo Drive, the service road they keep is I cut the grass all the time right there, And behind me is the water company. I let it go through to my land when last week they put new generator. I give the key to the water company. They go through because 18-wheeler, they no can go there. And that road is mine too for the water company. You know, I don't let it go there, it's my land. That road, the water company is mine. And I let it go through the 18-wheeler through to my lands. Last week, they put new generator, and I try to keep it clean. My lands, no trash, like they say, and I don't think they go impact like they say, like a lot of noise, like, you know, because it's not really close to house, you know. And I try the best I can do, and the neighbor keep it clean, the road, you know. It's the guy he talked to, he know me. He get out the trash around the Toledo Drive or Toledo Road. You know, I try, you know, look good the community. But if they see the next land, the grass is like this high, a lot of trash too. I don't know why they say about the piece of land I have, because I keep it clean. Whenever I buy, I clean it out around. Only that I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Commission members, at this time, I'll close the public hearing. Before asking for questions and comments, Director Holcomb, could you just very briefly, the request to rezone is from a light commercial or C1 to a heavy commercial 2, correct?
That's correct, Mr. Chairman.
Can you kind of touch on the differences and what the most intensive uses are as they relate to those categories?
So heavy commercial zoning, and that's what's being requested here, HC2, introduces additional, more intensive uses that would be allowed if this property were to be rezoned. This body here tonight is simply making a recommendation. That recommendation will go on to the Metropolitan Council zoning meeting next month. For those additional uses, first off, both zoning categories, the existing zoning category and the proposed, allow all sorts of general retail uses. So typical businesses, typical gas stations, retail sales would be allowed in both. The main differences that heavy commercial allows would be motor vehicle repair, motor vehicle sales, car washes, limited outdoor storage, think of contracting yards or lawn care maintenance businesses. Those would be allowed in heavy commercial, along with building material sales and service would be allowed.
Thank you, Director Hope. Questions or comments from the commission? Commissioner Fowler.
He can't do any automotive with HC1. The lowest he can do with his purpose of what he wants to do is HC2.
The lowest would be HC1, so that this body does have the ability to recommend a HC1 if the applicant's willing to downgrade that.
Thank you, Commissioner Fowler. Any additional questions or comments? Other questions or comments from the commission? Commissioner Boyd?
So just to be clear, I know you just said this, but HC1 would allow him to do what he's wanting to do with the property.
That's correct, but based on the opposition I've heard tonight and that shared comments of concern and opposition, that I believe that opposition would still be there with HC1.
But it would also limit it on the high end of the spectrum of what would be possible uses.
That's correct. It would take larger scale developments and those more intensive, larger uses out the picture.
Commissioner Addison.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You have to apologize for a moment, Mr. Director. I'm not able to get in my computer, so I don't know. What's the size of this lot? We haven't discussed that a lot. What's the size of it? I'm not able to see the map.
It's an irregular shaped lot, but it's approximately 1.35 acres based on our analysis.
1.35 acres. And of course, I heard of, most of the opposition, of course, are opposed to the, from my understanding and my appreciation, as opposed to the mechanic shop being placed there. Would like to see something a little different. What I did want to ask, I don't know if I want to ask one of the representatives of the landowner associations. Since I know Ms. Rowan well, I'm going to ask her to come back up if you don't mind. You know I was going to pick on you, but and I don't know if you all had an opportunity to do it. Mr. Edwin indicated he's been in the business now 20-some years, and there's been a lot of comments about the generality of the business itself. You know, and I understand and appreciate that, but kind of my evaluation is always on the person himself, not so much as the generality of what could be. You know, if he's been there 20 years and his business does not look like that, because I never heard anyone say anything about that. And I don't know if, you know, because that's important. I mean, you talk about blight, but if his place is not blight, then to say we can eliminate blight.
He's not there.
No, he's not there now, but he's been in business 20 years, right around the corner, is what he's indicated. And I may be wrong about it. I'm not asking you specifically, because I did hear the opposition, because when we talk about that, to be fair to the applicant, we should evaluate the applicant on what he or she does. I mean, that's one thing. That's a clear indicator of what a person is going to do is what they currently do. I mean, that's why I asked that question. I mean, see, she's been my friend so long, and we've known each other so long, and we grew up, so I'm not really picking on you. It's the point that I'm just trying to raise, that's an important point for me sitting here, is that what a person does is what they probably more likely to do, you know. But the lot size was a concern. I know it's Avalon. They talked about how he cleaned the lot. I've never heard anybody say anything about that. When he bought it, it was not one way, and now he's kept it up. So that's an indicator that he wants to be a friendly neighbor. He wants to be a good businessman. Okay, well, let me do this. Anybody has a concern or a statement, I'm letting them come to the mic. I'll be happy to do that, because I asked her to come, but I'll let somebody else come.
Okay, all right.
Let me do that, because I just want to hear. Let me get the order back, Mr. Chairman, first.
Yeah,
Let's do
please.
this. Let me, I like the, because she spoke, I like her to come. Ma'am, I'm not, just, you know, I just like her to speak, if you don't mind.
Our concern is not necessarily, it is about that building, it's rezoning. We had a rezoning done last year where at the 9700 block of Greenwood Springs Road in Platte. What happened there is that if you go down Platte Road now, where the old Winn-Dixie used to be, this other, what was it called? Save-A-Lot was there. They put an open storage facility there that stores old beat-up cars, everything that's in the entrance. When you rezone, you open up the area for all kinds of, he's just saying those things, but when you go to heavy commercial, they could put a cement company there on that road. And the other thing that we're having a problem with is that if you look on Choctaw, where they rezoned all of that, and look at the La Belle Air, when they rezoned all the way down Choctaw, behind Choctaw now, all La Belle Air, all of that went down. Their property values went down, crime rate increased, everything. So we're at the point now saying we don't want it to be a heavy commercial. We do know that Sherwood Forest is going to extend all the way out. What's on the other side of Greenwell Springs Road, that's fine, because that's going to be new developed. That could probably be heavy commercial. But we're looking at housing. Our homes are sitting back there. So it's not just about that one building coming. When you rezone, and Mr. Holcomb knows this, when you rezone, you open the area up for all other heavy commercial industry.
I get you.
So I don't know where his shop is at, and it's not about Mr. Bell. I'm not sure how his name. We're not concerned. We do appreciate him wanting to do something, but we're concerned about when you open that up, it's not just for him, it becomes for everybody.
I get you. Great point. And again, Mr. Chairman, I like to make a motion to deny the item.
There's a motion on the floor from Commissioner Addison to deny this item. Is there a second to that motion? There's a second from Commissioner Fowler. Are there any objections or any additional discussion? Seeing none, I'm sorry, we have a note. Do we have a comment from Vice Chairman McGraw? Okay.
I'm very much on the fence with this, but I'm going to vote in the affirmative. I think this needs to be handled at council. What we do is a recommendation. We're not the final authority. So I hate to say it. I agree with the neighbors. This seems to be a bridge too far. At a certain point, like we said, like I voted with the last one, at a certain point you have to say no. But I think I agree with that, but I think council needs to see this. I really do. So I'm going to vote in the affirmative because that will send it to council. And I think in between, you all can talk to Mr. Velasquez and see if you all can, maybe you all can work something out and sway it. So I appreciate that. Thank you all very much. I'm going to vote in the positive. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion on the floor to deny from Commissioner Addison. That motion received a second from Commissioner Fowler. We have one noted objection from Vice Chairman Grout. Are there any additional objections or any additional discussion? Seeing none, that item is denied. And we'll move on to item number 6, case 2025 T11920 West England Avenue.
Case 2025 T11920 West England Avenue. Property is located on the south side of West England Avenue, west of Stinson Avenue, Council District 5, Hearst. The applicant is Rodney Vincent. Future BR land use designation is residential neighborhood. The existing zoning is single-family residential, A1, with a requested zoning of single-family residential, A2.7. Case 2025 T11920 West England Avenue.
Staff cannot certify the requested change of zoning. While it conforms to UDC requirements, it is not consistent with the comprehensive plan provisions calling for the preservation of neighborhood character, partially being located adjacent to homes with larger frontages on the same street, which may alter the character of the existing neighborhood.
We did receive a message today in opposition from an adjacent property owner.
Thank you. Commissioners, I'll open the public hearing at this time and invite the applicant to speak for a period not to exceed 15 minutes. Good evening.
Good evening, Myra Richardson. I am representing the developer and property owner. My name is Myra Richardson at 4333 Marybelle Court, which is 6 minutes away from this development. So I'm very excited to be here and speak in support of this project. This development has requested to be from A1 to A2.7, specifically for a better usage of the property and to be able to start with our 5-lot development. So it's not a major development. This is a minor development to give an opportunity for young professionals, families, firefighters, those folks who have a starter home. This is not something that will negatively impact the value of that community. In fact, it will raise the value of that community. We held a community meeting at Greenbrier Elementary, and Councilman Darrell Hurst came in support for that meeting from shoveling sand just last week. And all of those community members came in the rain to talk about this in here and talk about their questions for it, because the property and that project had been idling for quite some time, and we're excited with you all support and in your inquiries to move this project forward, because we do have an inventory issue in Baton Rouge. We have families who want to have housing here in this community and have to go out of the parish to find it. This is a very historic community, and while I do acknowledge their perception of changing the exterior of that neighborhood, because it is an older neighborhood, so many of those owners were deeply concerned about the apartment complexes nearby, which have negatively impacted their home value. This is something that would be directly in juxtaposition to that and give them an opportunity to raise that property value and have even their grandchildren and their daughters and their sons move back into this community, which a lot of them vocalized. Those community members had been there since the 80s. We had one who was 50 years old and went to Greenbrier, and she specifically said that this was something that she wanted to see in the community because they wanted the opportunity to see families come back into that community. So this is a huge win for the community if it is successful, and I humbly ask for all of your support, and I welcome any questions in relation to this matter.
Thank you. There are no additional speaker cards, so I will close the public hearing and invite any questions or comments or motions from the commission. Commissioner Addison.
It's short. I move for approval.
That's a record. Thank you, Commissioner Addison.
I love you, God. Thank you, God. I appreciate you. Thank you all.
We have a motion on the floor for approval. I believe we have a second from Vice Chairman Grout.
Second.
Are there any objections or any need for further discussion? Seeing none, that item is approved.
Thank you all. I appreciate your time.
We'll move on to item number 9, case 2425-1540 North Foster.
Case 2425-1540 North Foster Drive. Property is located on the east side of North Foster Drive, north of Gus Young Avenue, Council District 7, Harris. The applicant is Chantel Knox. Future BR land use designation is mixed use. The existing zoning is light commercial, C1, with a requested zoning of commercial alcoholic beverage, bar and lounge, CAB2. Case 2425-1540 North Foster Drive.
Staff certifies that the proposed request meets the criteria for a change of zoning, being consistent with the comprehensive plan, compatible with surrounding uses, and conforming to Unified Development Code requirements.
Planning Commission office has received 4 messages in opposition to this rezoning request.
Thank you, Commission members. I will open the public hearing at this time and invite the applicant to speak for a period not to exceed 15 minutes. Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. This is my first business. We made sure that everything was in line. To me, I'm just bringing something to the community, well, to the shopping center. Everything is already in place already. They already have a dollar store, gas station, fashion store, a few couple of other buildings. I don't see anything wrong with it, bringing it to the community. I don't think I have any complaints about it, but I'm scared. I don't really talk in front of people well, but I'm just hoping that you all approve me to start my new business.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have one card that is in opposition. That is for Sabrina Honor. You have the floor for 3 minutes, ma'am.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sabrina Honor, and I'm the proud principal of EBR Readiness Elementary. I am the neighbor across the street, and I am concerned that we will have a bar and a hookah lounge across the street from an elementary school. I don't know, it may be to policy because this is not my purview. I don't know planning and zoning, I'm an educator. But here are the 3 things I wanted to address. 1, notification. Just like you mentioned earlier about the other constituent, about talking to the stakeholder, coming directly across the street to visit the school and talk to us, just let us know that you're coming, because I just think it's not in good taste to have a bar across the street from an elementary school. 2nd, just information. What are the hours of operation? Will they be serving alcohol during the day? Is it a nighttime thing? I don't know any information about it. And guess what? I am a small man on the totem pole. Maybe that information went to other people who do this type of thing. But because I'm the neighbor across the street, I would really like to know, because my other stakeholders will be coming to school in another couple of weeks. And this is a new development because this wasn't here in May. So now we have a brand new bar and hookah lounge across the street from the elementary school. What is the alcohol boundary? Can you have alcohol that close? And when I say across the street from the school, I mean literally, I can stand outside the door of the school, take a picture, and see the lounge directly across the street. So I really would like to know that. Will it be consumed across the street? I just want to know, is this the look that we want to have for our children and our families? Don't get me wrong. We do need businesses. We need stakeholders in the area. I'm just concerned and would like some questions answered, so I'll be able to answer the questions when my stakeholders ask, Mrs. Honor, there's a new bar across the street since we left? And the answer is, look like yes. So that's why I oppose of this new zoning request. Thank you very much.
Thank you. I believe that's the extent of our speaker course. I'll invite the applicant back for a 5-minute rebuttal. Okay.
I'm not the applicant, I'm the property owners, and I'm helping Chantel to build her first business.
Sure.
Which is, she's a bartender somewhere, and she came in to me and proposed this idea, which is opening a bar, sport bar, and I understand the concern, and I've been a property owner for 6 years over there. I'm doing my best to clean the place, and I think everybody's seen what I did to the place. We never had an issue, and my main thing is not to have an issue over there at all. And the timing over there is going to be after 5, which is 5 to 12, the timing for operation. A sport bar, for elder people to come in, do karaoke, anything that they want to do as far as having a good time. My main things, I have a high value property. I don't want to ruin my property value, so I will make sure to have the right tenants in there and supporting first business for Chantel. And thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner members, at this time, we'll close the public hearing and invite questions or comments regarding this item. Commissioner Addison, I don't think you're about to beat your record this time, are you?
Yes.
Oh.
I move for denial.
I move for denial. It's a tie. There's a motion on the floor to deny this item from Commissioner Addison. Is there a second to that?
I second that. And let me say this. You may be a small man, but you represent many small men and women. So those are those children that are over there. And you're right. You are correct. I know exactly where this is. And I don't know where their children go to school, but I can guarantee you that this is not sitting in their children's school. So I definitely second that motion.
Motion on the floor from Commissioner Addison, denied, second by Commissioner Coleman. Are there any objections? Any additional discussion? Seeing none, that item is denied. At this time, we'll move on to item number 14, PUD 124, Nicholson West Concept Plan Revision.
PUD 124, Nicholson West Concept Plan Revision. Property is located on the west side of Nicholson Drive, north of West Johnson Street, Council District 10, Coleman. The applicant is Carolyn Martin. The applicant is proposing a revision to remove medium-density residential, modify high-density residential, and decrease commercial office space. Future BR land use designation is mixed use. PUD 124, Nicholson West Concept Plan Revision.
Staff certifies that the proposed request meets the minimum criteria for a planned unit development, being consistent with the comprehensive plan, compatible with surrounding uses, and conforming to Unified Development Code requirements.
Thank you, Commissioner members. At this time, I open the public hearing and invite the applicant to speak for a period not to exceed 15 minutes. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. Name is Andre Rodriguez with Stantec Consultant Services, here to represent the applicant, Carolyn Morton, on behalf of this project. As it was noted, this is a request for a revision to the current PUD. The PUD 124 came to this commission and got approved by the Metro Council approximately a year ago for a mixed use of commercial, medium, and high-density residential uses, also with open space. As we were working through the process of a final development plan to derive what we want to exactly build and come back to the commission for that final development plan, it was to determine that medium density was probably not what was best used for that, and then also the high-density residential quantity, the units that we had in there originally were too high for the amount of area that we had identified. So we're come back with a revision here to remove medium-density residential from the PUD altogether, to decrease the number of units of high-density residential unit, but increase the area that's designated for there. So overall, a lower density use altogether. Combine that with now that we have a little bit less area that we could use for other uses, the office use has decreased too. So just to recap, high-density residential will decrease from 380 units down to 315 units, which is about a 17% decrease. The commercial office space, we're requesting to reduce it from 287,000 to 105,000. That is a 63% reduction. And then also on the acreage for commercial office, we're reducing it from 10.7 to 7.6, which is just under a 30% reduction. With that, I'm here to answer any questions or any other comments that might be for this case. Thank you.
Thank you. We have a couple cards that are in favor. The first is for David Day. Good evening, sir.
Hi. David Day. I'm located at the property right across the street at 2475 Nicholson, right at the corner of West Johnson. So throughout my life, my parents have lived in this house before I took ownership of it. And that lot has been vacant for some 50 years. There's been, threatened to have use of it and several attempts at developing, and it's all, fallen through. So I'm in very big favor of making best use of that property and going to a lower density use sounds reasonable to me. And I just like to see it go forward. Having that vacant land is putting a serious gap between LSU and downtown. And everything we can do to draw those two communities together, I think would be quite useful to our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Our other card in support is for Nicole Day, who has indicated that she does not wish to speak. We have two cards in opposition. The first is for Nehemiah Tapman.
Afternoon. Thanks for your time. Appreciate your attention. I know it's pretty late, but I'll try to be quick. My name is Nehemiah Tapman. I live off of 1720 Nicholson Drive, Red Stick Lofts. I am the HOA president. As the former person that just stood up mentioned, I think we were all pretty excited when we heard about this new development. I'm a civil engineer, also project manager for the last 15 years. I've done quite a bit of infrastructure and industrial projects throughout from New Orleans to Lafayette. So pretty excited about this as a homeowner in the area. But I'll say that was short-lived. Quite a bit of disappointment working with this developer. Around the time of March, there was a storm that knocked over a few trees. Over the last year, we have been communicating with this owner regarding that issue. Unfortunately, during that time, those trees did fall into my property. Not only damaged my property, our rescue pup is pretty scared to go back outside in that area now. Quite a few issues here that I would say for myself, but as well as everyone else in the property. So we've tried to reach out, and as Ms. Coleman mentioned about engaging with stakeholders in the community, we have yet to see that. Lack of attention, lack of response. It's also creating somewhat of a public safety concern, a nuisance. We've seen unhoused folks living in that area. As you saw the pictures, quite a bit of overgrowth there. So that's a concern. And as Councilman Addison mentioned, that's a KPI, a key performance indicator of how someone is going to manage their property there. So I think that's, the concern we've been seeing. So again, going back to the noise levels at night, various construction and things being done in that area, unsecured property, and then also there is a concern about the flooding in the area too, as we've seen quite a bit of changes due to the rezoning, it just doesn't seem like they have a true plan and they're ready to execute it. So again, excited to see the growth, but it's just not. They haven't taken the time to engage with us and build the trust in the community. And trying to be good neighbors here, we have not seen any effort to do that. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Our next card is for Caitlin O'Shea.
Hi, thank you for being here. I'm sorry it's so late. I also live at the Red Stick Lofts. My unit is directly affected by these trees as well. I actually came to the last public meeting on June 24th of 2024 to try and make contact with CPRT because unfortunately they have dodged calls, emails, text messages, everything. The only time I've seen them at our property was whenever Mr. Chapman had an issue with a tree falling on it. And as part of the HOA, I joined them. They promised to have the trees handled within 2 weeks. They also promised to have the trees handled within 2 weeks after the original rezoning meeting on June 24th, 2024. The trees are still there. I cannot in good faith think that they will do something proper with the property. I'm truly worried they're just going to keep kicking the can down the road and it's going to remain blighted. So I'm here to ask you guys to vote in opposition until they handle their business and until we get those trees down and until we get the unhoused people away from our property. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I'll invite the applicant back for a 5-minute rebuttal.
Thank you, and I appreciate the comments, and I will relay those over to the property owner in regards to the maintenance of the property itself. But today and tonight, we're asking for a revision to the PUD so that we can go forward with development to the next step. The next step, as you know, will be filing a final development plan. That is the intention to do that immediately once this goes through the process so that we can move forward with development of the site. The ask here is to reduce the density of high density residential, or eliminate medium density residential and office space so that we can have a final development plan that can go forward and be filed here immediately thereafter and start overall development of the property itself. Thank you.
Thank you. Commission members, that'll conclude the public hearing. I'll invite any questions or comments from the commission. Commissioner Coleman?
Yes, come back. They talked about trees, and yeah, I understand you want to remove the medium density residential, modify high density residential and all of that. It's a mouthful. And I have met, let me say this, with Carolyn Martin a couple of times, but I have not seen you all at any meetings, neither have you all reached out to me. So talk to me about these trees if you can, and if not, then this comes before the council. Am I correct, Ryan?
No, this item that we're hearing right now is just planning commission approval.
Just planning. So talk to me about these trees that were supposed to have been taken care of and weren't. And, yeah, talk to me about that. And if you are representing her, yeah, you ought to know something about some of this. So this is not, something that we can just slide on and say that you're just here for the density residential, the whatever, all that whole mouthful of whatever. But the trees, if trees have fallen in there on their property and we've had time to take care of this, so talk to me about that.
Unfortunately, I am not aware of the trees. I am here for the technical matter of it, of the product itself, of what this case is here. I will be more than glad to get with Carolyn and talk, Ms. Morton, and talk about this to make sure that the trees are addressed I'm not even sure what the trees, I'm assuming that the trees are on the west boundary, are what's being concerned here. The maintenance of the property itself, that would be under the property owners. I'm not sure what they had agreed upon or what they had discussed before. I know that we've had community meetings about the property, of how it would be looked at, the proposed of the development. That's why we came with the PUD a year ago and presented it.
Right.
And again, we're having this revision here as we were going forward with, to try to come up with a final development plan so that it can go forward with development. I appreciate that with the trees, and I do agree that there needs to be some communication. Unfortunately, I'm not the person to address that communication. I would like the opportunity to discuss that with the property owner further and see what needs to be done to resolve the concerns they have with the trees, and also if there needs to be further discussion on showing how the development is going to be. Again, when we come with the final development plan, that will show exactly how everything is going to be developed, other than just the conceptual uses which are being shown right now.
Developing trees on their property. Ryan, talk to me about where we are as far as, can I have this to come back before us? Tell me, what can I do?
Well,
Commission.
one of the things I was asking Director Holcomb about, Commissioner Coleman, was, and this is a question we could certainly float to the applicant. There's obviously been a lack of communication, yes, and some inaction as it relates to some identified issues on the property. So we would certainly appreciate the opportunity to have a little bit more time to allow some coordination, possibly through your office, for resolving those issues, and maybe strengthening the relationship between the applicant and the neighbors, and maybe making everybody feel a lot more comfortable about the project. So I'll ask the question: would you be open to a deferral for a specific period of time so that those discussions can take place?
I think that would be an excellent idea. That we'd be absolutely open to that, so that everything is open and transparent. And then I feel bad not being able to answer your question.
I understand where you are with it, so I understand. So it's going to be upon you all to reach out so that we can have a meeting, so that we can make sure that everything is transparent and that trees not falling on folk property.
Absolutely understand that. One question I ask is the term on that. How long?
Well, I was gonna ask Commissioner Coleman. Do you have a suggestion? We'll generally go 30 or 60 days. Again, I don't know how time sensitive the project is, and I don't know what you think is the appropriate amount of time to make sure that these issues are readily addressed.
I think that if we give them 30 days, it should not take. Is 30 the least
30 would
that
be
I can do? All right, 30 days, and that should give you all time to have your plan together. I've picked up trees, burned trees, I've done something with all those trees on the folk property, and then we can forge ahead with. I would have hoped that I would have heard from you all before us sitting here today, and I didn't. So 30 days.
So are you making a motion to defer the item?
I make a motion to defer this item for 30 days.
Okay, and that motion seconded by Vice Chairman Grout. Are there any objections or any additional discussion to deferring the item 30 days? You have an objection or comment, Commissioner Addison?
I have comment, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, please proceed.
You know, it's really unfortunate when this medium becomes a place to mediate people's complaints. That's not what we're here for. And if these residents have to use this medium as a means of getting developers, anybody else to do their job, when I said to the other applicants that it is not at least not mine, to try to mediate people's other concerns here. If your clients were looking to do a development in this parish and they don't do a good job of what they currently do, then who's going to mediate it after we approve it? Who's going to mediate your development after it's been approved by this government? That's not what we're here to do. If you wanna do this, reduce the commercial, reduce the residential and all that, those are good items. That's good ideas. But the stakeholders are the residents of this community. That's who they are. And while you are the messenger and you're the engineering firm that represents the client, and that's one thing. But the residents should not, after 2 years, have to run behind any development organization. I don't care if it's a SPUD, I don't care if it's a rezoning or whatever it is. What you do in the present is an indicator of what you're going to do in the future. And once we approve it, we're not here to mediate whether a developer meets with residents, or whether they keep their grass cut or anything like that. Once we approve it. That's very disappointing to hear. And this is Ms. Colvin's district as a council person, but as a member of the commission, that's very disappointing to hear. I'm done, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Commissioner Addison. There's a motion on the floor to defer this item for 30 days to be heard at the next Planning Commission meeting from Commissioner Coleman. That motion received a second from Vice Chairman Grout. Are there any objections or any additional discussion? Seeing none, that item has been deferred for 30 days. We will now move on to communications, beginning with director's comments.
I'll make this quick. The only announcement is the next Planning Commission meeting, which is scheduled to August 18th.
Thank you, Director Holcomb. We'll move on to Commissioner's comments. So at this time, I would like to congratulate our most recent Employee of the Month, Glenn Hanna, Planning Project Coordinator. Take a bow, Glenn. Glenn is responsible for making sure the Planning Commission agenda and associated council items are kept on their assigned meeting trajectories. He also coordinates the review and oversight of staff reports from all divisions, and he maintains operations in our resource center, making sure it is staffed at all times. Glenn plays an integral role in the interviewing of new staff members and analyzes many of the specialized parking assessments needed for redevelopment. He is consistently dependable in all his work assignments. He is an extremely valuable employee who is very deserving of this recognition. Please join me once more in congratulating Glenn. Are there any additional comments from the commission? If not, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion from Commissioner Coleman, second from Commissioner Addison. If there are no objections, meeting's adjourned. Thank you, everyone, and good night.